Hello, and welcome to Fresh Blood, a podcast about killing it after 40, where we prove that new blood does not necessarily equal young blood. Here to discuss what it takes to have continued success through life, I'll be your host, Jolie Downs. With over 20 years of executive recruiting experience, I've learned how much we can grow and be inspired by other people's stories. I'm excited to share that with you here on Fresh Blood. Today, we are talking with Artie Hoffman. Artie is a master level psychic, a comedian, a spiritual advisor for over 3 decades, and has helped change the lives of thousands of individuals who have turned to him for answers and guidance. He is a nationally renowned speaker, healer, and radio personality. Artie's weekly radio show, Angels and Answers, gives the listeners a chance to connect with Artie and ask questions about a variety of personal topics. Artie has performed his show throughout the U.S. He offers personal readings to his clients, which include many celebrity personalities, and he provides seminars, workshops, and psychic development classes to the public. I'm really looking forward to learning more about your journey, Artie. Thank you for joining us on Fresh Blood. Could you tell us a little bit more about your story and getting to where you are today?
It was all on a fluke. I know there's no such thing as coincidences, but for human sake, we'll call it a coincidence. Mm-hmm. But it was at the age of 27 when I got a postcard in the mail. I was married at the time. And it said, how would you like to develop your psychic ability and intuitiveness? Come to the Edgar Cayce Foundation in Virginia Beach for this 1 weekend seminar, learn how to develop your abilities. I said, oh, crap, I didn't know you could learn how to do this. I figured either you were born with it, you had it, or you didn't. Mm-hmm. And so I asked my wife, who was my wife at the time, I says, this looks interesting. You want to try this? She says, no, I don't give a shit about that. You can go if you want. I'm not interested. So I went. And I went away for that 1 weekend seminar. And there was about 50 of us from all different parts of the country that was at this seminar.
Interesting.
And they got you to learn to be very unconditional with your thoughts and your feelings, like no judgment whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And so after breaking everything down of any inhibitions or worries or concerns, they just eased everybody. And they broke us up into groups. And they said, whoever you're with, just share your thoughts with, share your feelings and your thoughts with them. And then just tell them what you think. Don't judge it. Mm-hmm. And if they don't understand it now, they'll understand it later. I was telling people my thoughts and my feelings, and most people would tell me I was pretty accurate. And I was blown away because I've never done this before. Mm-hmm. And then people were doing the same thing to me. So I said, cut it out. No, I'm only kidding. So I said, so it was just amazing. So after that 1 weekend, it literally changed my life forever. And to look at life through a different perspective. Mm-hmm. And they were great speakers also, talking about God and spirituality and life beyond this life and endless possibilities and of way of manifesting or creating thought or connecting with God, how everything in life is endless.
Yes.
The only thing that's limited is our thoughts, not life.
Yes.
That's actually a good post. I should write that down.
Yeah, you should.
I swear to God, that was an epiphany. I tell you, the spirits were talking to me.
And isn't it amazing what happens when your mind opens up to these new perspectives that you hadn't previously embraced? What did that do for you?
It did everything for me. You know what? You know, like when you get drunk and if you're getting drunk or high, you have no fear. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're numb. Or you're doing drugs. You're numb. Not that I did drugs. I never did drugs. I can't say that. Once I did drugs. Once I did a drug. And it was amazing. And I let go of all fears, and I felt nothing but pure love. Mm-hmm. I felt nothing but pure love. And I had no fear whatsoever. And it was amazing. It lasted, I don't know, about an hour or so. Mm-hmm. It was like Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Mm-hmm. But when I do what I do, the reason why, I've never done drugs literally my entire life. And my friends would always say, Artie, pick any drug you want and I'll buy it. Because if you're this high on life without drugs, I can only imagine how funny you would be and how awesome you would be on drugs. But I always stood out from everybody else, always, and not even trying. I'm just me being me. But in any case, but I want to get back to the story from before. So when you were asking me about developing the gift, so I went home after that seminar and I started reading for friends and family for a few years, just for the fun of it. Mm-hmm. And people were telling me how accurate I was. There's a lot of detailed messages that were coming through that were like right on the money. And I was like blown away that people were coming by with these testimonials. I'm just telling people stuff at the top of my head. This is what I feel. This is what I think. This is what I'm getting. And you're right. Now, was I right 100% of the times? No. No psychic in the world is ever right 100% of the times, because there's this thing, what I call psychic probabilities, because not everything's written in stone. Yes. So there are times where people would say, hey, Art, do you see me making it in this relationship? And I said, if you do certain things, yes, it's in cement. This is what's going to happen. Boom, 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 boom. But then there are situations where if you go with this, if you try it out with your husband, this is what's going to happen. If you try it out with the other guy that you were seeing on the side, this is what's going to happen. If you go for counseling, this is what's going to happen. And if you go on your own, this is what's going to happen. And they go, okay, what do you see me doing? I said, I could only tell you what is going to happen based on your choices, psychic probabilities. I said, that's your choice. I could tell you what I would do if I was in your position, but I'm telling you from a logical point of view, when you're emotionally invested, when emotions are high, intelligence and smarts goes right out the window.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. That's now, were you doing, so you were doing this on the side. This is something they did on the weekend, and then you started doing it for friends and family. So what were you doing as your day job?
So what happened, wait, before I get to that. So what happened was I got to a point in my life because of investments that I was making, I needed a lot of extra cash quick. And I had to pay back some people from investments that I made. I'm saying, other than the money that I make now, I said, what else can I do? And I said, you know what? I know how to do readings. So I threw an ad in the paper and it said, if I don't pull through, no charge. Ooh. So 90% of the people paid me. So through word of mouth and through a little more advertising, my career just took off like gangbusters.
Oh, wow. What a way to do it too. That's smart.
Yeah. So what I did, and I've been doing it for 40 years and I have 10 people who work for me. I have a window cleaning power washing business called Peeping Tom's Window Cleaning.
Great. Peeping Toms. That's a great name.
Yeah. And on my card, it says binoculars not included.
I love a good sense of humor.
Yeah. So I was doing that at the time. I've been doing that for 40 years. I've been doing readings for 33 years.
Great.
And both careers are, doing its own thing. And I'm able to balance it out. But now my career is starting to get bigger. And now I have to readjust my life according to as my spiritual world is starting to grow and grow. So it's pretty challenging now, I'll tell you. Thank God. I pray in my prayers, other than for love and health and good feelings like that, I also pray for balance, not so much as manifestation. I do pray for prosperity, but balance is so important in life. And every single day I say this prayer to my guardian angels. I call upon, because we all have guardian angels with us 24/7. We have at least 2 guardian angels with us 24/7. And sometimes it's more. Now, some people think, who's my guardian angel? So they're thinking, is it my mother, my father, my brother, my sister, my kid, or my best friend? No, they are loved ones who are with you. But an angel is an angel and a loved one is a loved one. And a spirit guide is a spirit guide. And then you have your ascended masters and the Holy Spirit. So it's all different energies.
And so you learned to get in touch with all those guides through all of your learnings, correct?
Yeah, through meditations. So the prayer that I say every single day is, I call upon all my loving guardian angels. Thank you for intervening into my life. You need to say intervening because you have free will. Your guardian angel is not allowed to intervene into your life unless if you ask them to do something for you or whatever. The only time an angel could intervene into your life when you don't ask them if you're in a do or die situation and it's not your time to go, your angel will intervene to save you because it wasn't your time.
Awesome. So you can ask your angels at any time to help you, and you should ask them to help you. Is that correct?
Yes. And so I say, I call upon all my loving guardian angels. Thank you for intervening into my life. Thank you for creating peace, harmony, balance, and serenity into my life today. Thank you for all your loving white light, love, and protection. Thank you for blessing me and my child and my close friends and family. In the name of the Holy Spirit, amen. So this is the prayer that I say every day. And I do ask for prosperity, and I do ask for tight relationship, for love and protection. And when I go to the beach, I ask for a close parking spot. A quick, close parking spot. ASAP, just for me.
Yeah. And it's okay to ask all these things. So I know a lot of people think that you should only ask for the big things, but I've heard that it's okay to ask for the little
Everything
things.
and everything, and I mean everything and anything, you shall ask. And the churches and the temples have it all wrong when they say you should not ask for money from God or whatever. It's being selfish. And yet after their sermons and ceremonies are over, they put out their pews, they put out their little baskets, and they say, can you please give to the church and to the temple? And I say, I would love to give it to you, but you said you shouldn't ask. You're asking me. I don't want to turn you into the devil's work, so I'm not going to give you any money. I would love to, because that's the kind of guy I am, but you said I shouldn't ask, so therefore you shouldn't ask, so leave me alone.
Yeah. Now I'm curious, how did your family and coworkers react to this new talent that you were developing?
They thought I was totally crazy.
Yeah.
They
How
thought
did
I
you
was
deal with
totally,
that?
what else is Artie going to get into? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Is what my family and friends said. Oh my God, what's Artie into now? But when they heard me on one of the more popular radio stations in New Jersey, which is, they have a listenership of 500,000 plus.
Wow.
So I managed to get onto their program, which is an interesting story how I got on that program.
How did that happen?
Okay. So here I am. I'm doing one of my Artie parties.
Mm-hmm.
People hire me to go to their houses, and I read for their friends and family. And I'm reading for this one lady, and I'm telling her all about her son, and she's saying no. I'm telling her about her daughter. No. I'm telling her about her relationship. No. Telling her about her job. Maybe yes. I don't know. Anyway, she thought I really sucked. She thought I did not hit her. I wasn't even close. Yada. What happened was, a few months later, everything that I told her about her son, I told her, I said, your son's going to need a root canal. I said, but they're not going to get it right the first time. He's going to have to go back a second or a third time. She goes, my son has perfect teeth and my father's my dentist. She goes, you don't know what you're talking about. He ended up needing a root canal, and he didn't get it right the first time. He had to go back 2 more times to correct the problem that was going on.
Wow.
And then I told her, I said, your son is going to be changing his major or minor to philosophy. She goes, my son, philosophy? You've never been more wrong in all your life. Halfway into the year, he comes home with a new set of books, and he goes, Mom, I'm changing my minor to philosophy. She goes, what? Are you kidding me? And I told her that her son was going to have problems with his wrist. There was nothing wrong with the wrist at the time. Her son ended up spraining his wrist from his job. Wow. And then I told her she's probably going to end up breaking up with her boyfriend. Either it's going to grow a lot or it's going to be broken up in the month of August. And then she said, there's nothing wrong with my relationship. We're like best of friends. I don't know what you're talking about. In August, they ended up breaking up.
Oh, wow.
And then I told her about her job, which was correct. And I told her about her daughter, which was correct. All these other things were coming true. It turns out she happened to be the #1 salesperson at the radio station that I was talking about in New Jersey. And she said to the main DJ, she says, you got to get this guy on air. He's amazing. So when I got on the air and everyone heard me on the radio, they said, oh, Artie must have something now.
That's
you
awesome.
know? And then they became believers. And then I did a quick reading for somebody at another radio station. And then she happened to have friends who worked for Fox TV. And so they got me on Fox TV. And then I performed at Trump casinos, again, because people heard me on the radio and stuff. So clout, it just was building and building. And it sounds like I'm bragging, and I'm not. This is my story.
Yeah, this is your
These are,
story. I'm curious, how did you deal with it when you knew this was something that you were growing and developing? You knew it to be true, but other people were questioning you, especially your loved ones. How did you deal with that?
I got news for you. I was questioning myself
Yeah.
because I never took anything for granted. When I first started doing this and people started to pay me for this, I'm telling people stuff and I'm going da 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 da. And then I'd look at you and I go, huh? And I'm waiting for either a positive response or a negative response. And when it was positive, I go to myself, inside myself, I go, oh, thank God she can relate or he can relate to it. And then when they said no to me, and I would look at them, and in my thoughts, I'm saying, I feel so bad for taking your money. I really suck at this. And then, but again, people might not have related to what I had to say in the moment. But then days, weeks, or months later, things started to happen, or they would verify what they didn't know to be true. They verified with their other friends or family members what I said actually were true or came true.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it just manifested and manifested. And it's really cool because growing up, I always wanted to become a therapist because I'm good with people.
Mm-hmm.
But I sucked at school and I had no patience with books. And I wasn't one that came from a lot of money as far as dealing with the finances of college and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I really never went to college, but I did write 2 books. One is called Angels and Answers, and another one is called Have Your Angels Call My Angels.
Mm-hmm.
And in my first book, Angels and Answers, it says, I went to the University of Maryland in Boston for 2 years, but that was just to visit my friends. That was my college education and experience. But the thing is, by reading so many people, because I've literally read for over 33,000 people in my career,
Wow.
No exaggeration. So that's what gives me the clout and the experience. People call me their psychic therapist, and
You're helping people. Yeah.
I'm helping people every day. And I'm probably one step above and beyond a therapist, only because I get to see what's in the future also, not just what's in the moment or what they're feeling. And they don't even have to say anything. You don't even have to say, and I already know. I don't have to know what your problem is, but I know what you're emotionally going through and what your perspective is.
Wow.
So when I help you re-look at your problems or your circumstances, I give you back your power, because you're not allowing that person to get the best of you, or you're not allowing the situation to get the best of you, because you're looking at things from a better perspective. You're getting back your self-esteem and self-confidence. And that's what helps you give you a quality of life. So I would probably say that's my biggest blessing in life, is giving people back their power. Now, does everybody take to it? No, because there are people who are stuck in their hamster wheel. I told them what to do to get out of it. I told them how to do it. But so it depends. Do you want to do the work to get out of it, or do you want to remain stuck for the rest of your life? It's your choice.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. And you've done a lot, Artie. You've run a successful business for many years, and you did this without a college education. You learned these psychic abilities, developed these psychic abilities, and you've created a successful business for yourself through that, with shows throughout the US, radio show, books, personal clients, all these different things. What would you say has been your greatest success, and what did you learn from it?
My greatest success, there's 4 things I want to say about it. Four separate things. Mm-hmm. Number 1, being able to make a living out of it. Mm-hmm. Something that I love to do. Number 2, healing people's lives. Mm-hmm. Giving people back their power, healing their lives, healing their hearts, communicating to their loved ones who have passed away, giving them an open perspective. That's number 2, giving people back their power and stuff like that. Being on certain social medias was also a major success. Plus, there's still a lot more to accomplish. And I would probably say one of my greatest successes, and it's probably more than I even realized, but one that I know firsthand, which is my favorite reading of all thousands of people I've read for. There was a gentleman who called me up wanting a reading. And he says, Art, he goes, I'm in despair. He goes, I really need your help. He goes, I'm very depressed. He says, can you help me? And I could hear it in his voice. I said, sure, come on over. So I saw him the next day. He came into my place and he was down and out. And I started talking to him about the meaning of life and the meaning of his life. I just gave him a really good, healthy perspective of what life and his life was all about and what he could look forward to. And so after the reading was over, now why I said what I said, I don't know. I just say whatever is fed to me, my thoughts, what the angels are sharing with me or the spirit sharing with me and my thoughts. And after the reading was over, his whole demeanor changed. And he gave me a big hug afterwards. And he says, Art, you saved my life. Now, a lot of people will say that. You're a lifesaver. You say, and I said, that's nothing. I said, that's okay. He goes, no, you literally saved my life. He goes, whew. He said, I wrote a suicide note and I was going to kill myself tomorrow morning. Oh, wow. And he said, because of you, I don't want to do that anymore.
Oh, wow.
So
that's very powerful. I have tingles all over.
Yeah. So
it's important what you're doing.
So it's life altering, life saving. And
it makes a big difference.
After I explained to him, I said, because I did tell him, I said, the people who do commit suicide, not realizing in the moment that he had that on his mind. I said, the people who want to commit suicide or kill themselves, I said, they think they're running away from their problems and they're not. I said, what happens is that God gave everybody free will. You could do with whatever you want and create whatever it is you want in life. And I love you unconditionally. And I'm not going to stop you from doing what you want to do or what you create yourself to create in your life. He goes, however, you are responsible. That's the catch to free will. You are responsible for all your actions. So when people are dealing with their life and say, you know what, I don't want to live anymore, I'm out of here. What happens is that they're going to be reborn into another family right away that will lead them to the exact same circumstances they just try to run away from because they have to deal with what they've created. Only on the next go around, it comes with interest. People think that I'm out of here. I'm not going to deal with this anymore. Guess what? You're going to have to start from square one all over again for what you just did. Not to mention that people don't realize the amount of pain that they create with their friends and family by communicating, disconnecting themselves from life itself. So they don't realize the cause and effect that they have with their lives. And what happens is that you feel all that pain of what everyone else is going through.
Yeah.
When you cross over, you do feel everyone's pain.
Yeah.
And it's not that God's punishing you. It's just karma. And it's the law of the universe. It's the law of balance that creates. So that's why God says, treat thy neighbor as you would yourself. Because when you put out good, you will be blessed by tenfold and good will come to you. You might not always get it in the moment, but it will come to you. But if you put out bad and negative, it will bite you in the ass and you'll reap whatever it is that you put out there.
Right.
So it's like when you look at all these hurting people in third world countries, all these people who are starving, hurting, raped, poverty, sickness. Now, how do you know in a previous life that these aren't souls that were reborn who might have been Nazi Germans in a previous life and now they're paying the price so they could feel all the pain that they've given to everyone else?
Wow.
So there's a reason why when you see somebody struggling or hurting or they had everything and it was taken away, or why in the conscious moment, in that moment, we do not realize what the karmic reason is, why they called for this to happen in their life. But before you're born into this world, you already know by meetings with your angels and your spirit guides, you already know all the major challenges you're going to be dealing with in this lifetime and all the major people that are going to be in your life. You already know that. You're the one who picks your parents and you already know how you're going to die and when you're going to die because you've picked it. You already know it. And as soon as you're born, you're blessed with amnesia because now it's time to play the game of life according to all the pieces you picked. Now, why do we pick all these stupid ass challenges? Because it's to help us spiritually grow.
Right.
And while we go through these challenges, we're learning about unconditional love. We're learning about blind faith. We're learning about being compassionate, about being giving, and the list goes on and on. Forgiving, being forgiving. So you cannot spiritually grow if you're not experiencing these challenges to utilize these beautiful sinews. So I always tell people, if you want to become a good boxer, you need to take a good ass kicking. You need to learn to take a good ass kick if you're going to become a good boxer. So if you want to spiritually grow, we chose a very hard life in this world. Most of us did. To deal with these challenges in our life. Why would I pick these I didn't pick these parents. Why would I pick alcoholic parents or poverty or rape or whatever? They are your strong teachers, and it sucks a lot. My father taught me what love is not, because he was a very difficult personality. Not that he was all bad. He wasn't. But my mother definitely taught me and my brothers what love was. So I had the best of it on both ends. I wrote my father a letter one time, and I said, thanks for being my dad. I said, because of you, I've learned what not to do. So he's created so much pain in our lives that I said, I do the opposite, because I would never want to cause anybody that kind of pain, especially my significant other.
He taught you how not to act. And that couldn't have been easy, though, growing up. How did you deal with that growing up?
It was emotionally challenging. It wasn't even so much as just for myself. I was always felt like I was protecting my mom, because my mom was taking the wrath of my father's arrogance. My father wasn't into drugs and major alcohol. He drank once in a while, but he wasn't an alcoholic at all. You know, like I said, unfortunately, a lot of people became the people they do not like, because they were raised by being beaten up or being abused. So therefore they do it to others because that was what was taught to them. Whereas for people like myself, the pain that I saw somebody give was so bad. There was no way that I wanted to be that person. So people a lot of times become the people they don't like because they mimic what was done to them. So I always tell people, I said, whatever you wished you got, the kind of love or appreciation from others, you got to give that to other people. What you wish you got from your parents or from your lover or from whoever, I said, give that off to everybody else. And then those other people will give that back to you.
Yes.
But a lot of times people have a hard time appreciating compliments or love from other people, because it's not coming from the people or the person they want it from the most. So they have a really hard time accepting compliments or appreciation or love, because it didn't come from the person they wanted it from the most.
So what would you tell them to help them with that?
Love yourself. It's all about self-love. And I say this at almost with every show. The love and respect that you give is the love and respect you deserve. And people will love you and respect you as much as you love and respect yourself. And the ones who don't love and respect you in the way that you love yourself, then you need to ixnay them from your life. And so long as you keep on allowing yourself to stay in that position, then you deserve it. You're staying there. You, by your choice, you're staying there rather than making a conscientious choice to make changes. So if somebody you keep on repeating the same lesson over and over and over again, waiting for things to change, people won't change. Circumstances won't change. You have to change. And when you change, you force other people to change when you change. But a lot of people don't want to change because there's too many inconveniences. They're afraid of the transition. They're afraid of the fear. They're afraid of rejection. They're afraid of all this other stuff.
It can also be because there's anger as well and hurt. And I've experienced this myself. And I have to say, there were moments when I didn't want to change because of the anger and hurt. But I knew exactly what you're saying, Artie, is 100%. I knew that I couldn't change the situation and I could not change the person. That only left changing me. And when I did change myself, even though I didn't feel like they deserved it, I changed myself. And you are 100%. It completely changed everything. And it changed them. And it changed the situation. And it was like a miracle.
And a lot of times, it's not until you leave that they appreciate what they once had. But so long as you keep on staying there and you're allowing them to still get the best of you when they don't deserve it, they're never going to change, because they could still be a piece of crap and you're still willing to be there. So you're living in their limited way of thinking, or in their limited world, in their bullshit world. And you're allowing yourself to stay there. So it's not just their fault. It's also your fault for allowing yourself to accept this poor behavior.
That's really profound. Have you dealt with big failures in life, big mistakes, big challenges that you've had to overcome that you could share and what you've learned from it with us?
Oh yeah, my last marriages. I've done that a few times. Been there, done that.
What have you learned from those experiences?
What I've learned. I know each relationship brings you lessons. I've learned more of what to accept, what I'm willing to accept, and what I'm not willing to accept. The reason why I went through, and I literally did go through a few marriages besides a few relationships. And I really am great. And I'm not just saying this, but I really am great when it comes to being in I'm very good. Everybody loves the way I am with them. Mm-hmm. But it's because my biggest challenges in my relationships is because I do what I do for a living.
Mm-hmm. How so?
And my time isn't always available. So it's not a matter of how I am with them. It's not what I do to them. It's that they want more of me. Mm. And I say to whoever I'm with, I could give you quality of my time. I can't give you quantity of my time because my life is so busy with the public. So it's like being married to a professional musician or a professional performer, or a comedian, or a sports person. You have to be able to have a strong enough personality to deal with it. And plus 98% of my clients are women. So it's a lot of it's about trust. And I'm all about that. I really am. I'm all about that. And my parents have stayed together for 64 years in their marriage.
Beautiful.
Yes and no. Bittersweet. Because because 62 years of it was challenging, was like bull crap. And so my mom, they were raised back in the day. You don't give up, you stay there. And my brothers are still married to the same women, which I wish I was capable of doing, but it wasn't me. They're in happier marriages, a lot more happier marriages than what my parents were, a lot happier. But for me, it wasn't that way. So I learned from my parents by seeing my mother miserable for so many years that know when the show is over. I really compromised. I really give my best. But when it's not enough, it's, you know what? I can't make you happy and you're not making me happy. So that's it. So I'm going to explain to you the words, the true meaning of the words, till death do us part. Mm-hmm. There's two meanings to that. When you're saying your wedding vows, according to the physical world, according to religion, till death do you part. When one of you physically die, till death do you part, you stay together no matter what, come hell to high water. Honestly, I think that's bullshit. However, the true meaning behind the words, till death do you part, shall you always be together till death do you part, unless if your heart dies in the relationship, till death do you part. When your emotional heart dies, if your heart emotionally dies in a relationship, till death do you part.
Yeah, you don't want to be staying there.
And you don't want to stay there. And it's keeping you from spiritually growing. Mm-hmm. So somebody is meant to be with you, say from 1 year old to 10 years old. Other people are with you from 11 years old to 28 years old. Other people are with you 28 to 37. And you have people in your life at different times. Mm-hmm. Some of them are a lifetime and others are part-time. You don't stop yourself from growing because you're not responsible for everyone else's happiness. Right. So I made a lot of people upset as I kept on evolving because I was not meeting up to their expectations. Mm-hmm. And I said to them, like I said to my mother, because my mom was upset when I was going through my first divorce, even my second divorce. She was very upset because she loved both the girls that I was with. And I said to her, I said, Mom, I said, I'm not responsible for your happiness. I said, I'm doing what feels right in my heart. I'm not doing what I'm doing to hurt you, even though that's the cause and effect. I'm doing what feels right in my heart. So the people who are going to stand by you will stand by you with unconditional love. And the people who are going to judge you and hit you with conditional love, then I don't need you in my life because you're judging me with conditions. And I can't live in that limited way of thinking. So I always do give my heart and my soul and my best, what my intentions are. So I'm very playful. You'll laugh at this one. I'm very playful, and I do have a flirtatious personality, but it's not to a point where I'm like super nasty, but I do have a playful, flirtatious personality, and I got that from my father. And so one of the girls who I knew I haven't seen her in a long time, and I was just being playful with her. I wasn't being promiscuous. I was just being playful. And she looked at me and she goes, Artie, are you trying to get my pants? And I said to her, why? Is that where you keep your money? I said, I'm not trying to get in your pants. I said, I'm just having fun with you. That's all.
Just having fun, connecting with people. I'm connecting.
Yeah, I'm just having fun. Artie being Artie. I'm just living in Artie's world.
There's so much that you've imparted to us that's been really profound. Have you been learning a lot of this through your guides and talking with the higher level spirit? Are you learning about this through books? Where are you learning about all this?
Yes, and yes to everything. Through reading, through experiences, through meditations. Hell, at the beginning of this session, I just created a beautiful post just by talking about life is limitless. Yeah. And I said, I got it. So it's trying to get a point across. The angels will share a beautiful thought in a moment. I said, wow, that's really good. I got to write it down. Because if not, I'm going to forget it because my memory sucks.
Yeah, right there with you. It's all got to be written down. I was just curious because when you were talking, it was so enlightening. And I read a lot. I read a lot endless books, and a lot of what you were saying is very congruent with a lot of what I've read about the spiritual world. And so I was curious if there was some kind of book or a talk or a video that's had a really big impact on your life that you think the listeners would benefit from listening to or watching as well, or reading.
All right, like I said, there's 3 books. All right, I'm going to be prejudiced. 2 of the 3 are mine. No, but if you appreciated what I had to say right now, mm-hmm. I promise you with all my heart and soul, I'm not saying this because I wrote the book, Angels and Answers and Have Your Angels Call My Angels, which you can get on artiehoffman.com or amazon.com. These books, you are going to think that I personally wrote this book for you. It will have that direct impact because you're going to have a lot of aha moments. I talk about a lot of deep subjects, but I write the answers in a very simplistic manner. And so just the way I talked about big topics on your show tonight, mm-hmm. I explain things in a very simplistic manner that you could understand and everyone could understand. Mm-hmm. And that's the way my books are. The book that literally changed my life, that really helped change my life and open my eyes up to like above and beyond, mm-hmm. was the book by Neil Donald Walsh. He has 3 volumes, and I'm only recommending the first volume. And it's Conversations with God.
Oh, so good. I agree.
Conversations with God, Volume 1. Mm-hmm. Volume 2 wasn't nearly as good. Volume 3 was better. Volume 3 was better than 2, but not as good as 1.
Yeah. 1 was amazing.
Yeah, the number 1 was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It really put a huge perspective mm-hmm. on life. And I've read that book a couple of times. And that's the type of book you have to reread and reread certain pages because it's that deep. But it's so profound and so beautiful. It was Neil Donald Walsh who helped me realize that there is no physical place called hell. Is an emotional experience. There's no physical place called hell, but there is a heaven. Heaven is of everywhere.
Yes. It was a really good book. I do highly suggest that as well. Thank you for bringing that up. I'm curious with all because you've learned a lot clearly through all of the spiritual traveling that you've done. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give someone who might be in a position of struggle right now, either trying to find the right path for themselves or the right next opportunity, the right decision? Is there any kind of advice you give to someone who's in that kind of a position?
Each person has their own set of have their own set of issues to deal with psychologically, emotionally, their upbringing. There's no protocol. The best advice that I could say to you, there's a couple of things. Number 1, create a dream board.
Right.
A dream board meaning get construction paper, a large piece of construction paper or a construction board, and put your face in the middle of it, and then put pictures around your picture of the kind of house you want to live in, the kind of family that you want, the kind of car you want to drive in, the kind of person you want to be, anything of pictures from magazines or anywhere you get. Have these pictures around your face so that you could draw that energy, and it needs to be in a place where you could look at it. Stop accepting lower energy from other people and respect yourself. And just because people has a perception of you like a piece of crap or whatever it is, it doesn't mean that it's your reality.
Right.
It could be their reality, but if you accept it and you keep on hearing it over and over again, you're not respecting yourself. You're not loving yourself. You need to respect and love yourself and say, you know what? You are not good enough for my life. You're not good enough for the beautiful garden that I am creating. And I am no longer on your emotional bullcrap stage because I'm not accepting it anymore, because I think higher myself. So you need to start creating boundaries of what you're willing to accept or not accept. And you also need to start creating an island, a beautiful island. If you don't like where you're at, all right, you need to start creating a beautiful island for you to look forward to, go to a something. If you do not create, say, that new apartment, that new house, visualizing being in a different relationship or visualizing being in a different place within your life, you need to start within your actions, creating the money or the resources to get yourself there. You need to start doing within your actions to do it. If you don't, and you're just living it day to day to day, you're going to be on a hamster wheel. You're only surviving your life. You're not living your life.
Really good advice. Thank you for that. Really good. And by the way, I'm looking at my dream board right now.
Oh, that's cool.
Big believer.
So, you know what? A lot of people, when they have kids or family members or friends or druggies or alcoholics or, who are addicted to these lower forms of energy, they say, do you see them getting better? Do you see them getting better? I said, I only see them getting better only if, and I just said this on my last show, because I have a Facebook Live show that I do every Sunday night. And it's called Angels and Answers Facebook Live Show. I do free readings for 1 hour, 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Cool. What day again?
Yeah. Sunday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern time.
8 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to go check it out, Artie. I'll be there.
Artie Hoffman's Angels and Answers. So I do free readings. And so somebody just asked me, do you see my daughter getting better coming off of drugs and stuff? I said, only if you help her create a beautiful island or something to look forward to get her off the drug, to give her a motivation so that when she's off the drug, she's going after a new career or a new desire or whatever. There needs to be a reason why she's getting off the drugs to keep her off the drugs. Because a lot of people get clean, but then they go right back into it because they have nothing to look forward to.
Yes, no, you're exactly right. They need to fill their lives up with more joy, more purpose, more things that are exciting to them, that will get them up and excited to do that instead of the drugs.
And one of the biggest mistakes that people do in relationships is that they live their life through their partner. They don't share their life with their partner. They live too much of their life through their partner. Based on how their partner feels, they feel. Based on their happiness, that's their happiness. Based on what they say, they look at their partner as that's the word of God, rather than having their own thoughts and opinions. And then it takes away your confidence. And then you always feel like you're walking on eggshells.
You're so right. It's that asking yourself, is this my belief? Is this my story? Is this even my energy that I'm holding on to? Or am I absorbing people around?
So many people are afraid to lose their partner who's treating them like crap, or lose their partner where it's not even a good match. And they're so afraid. And it's more painful to be alone in a relationship than is to be alone on your own.
Yeah, no, you're so right. And since you've gone through this, if anyone is trying to transition, what have you found is the best way to transition yourself out of relationship?
Say, I'm out of here.
and done.
That's right. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.
Artie, what about for yourself? Of all the things that you've learned and have grown through, what has brought you the most benefit in life?
What have I learned? Respecting myself, always knowing that it's okay to be unique. It's okay to be different. It's okay if I find something humorous, whereas other people might not. It's enjoying yourself and loving yourself, and then being able to share the love and laughter with other people. So I always, a lot of times, I tell people I love you. And people say, how do you know you love me? You just met me. I say, well, I don't know if I like you, but I do love you because I'm a people person and you're a people. So I do love you. I said, there's no reason for me not to really not love you. So they'd say, people say, well, I like you, but I don't know if I love you. I said, it's a lot like ice cream. I said, I love ice cream, but I don't like all flavors.
I love that answer. That's so great.
So that would probably, like I said, enjoy life. Life is limitless. It really is. It's limitless. And God gave everyone free will to create whatever it is you want. And if you don't like what you got or who you're with or whatever, then change. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's easier said than done. I'm fully aware of what I just said. It's easier said than done. But every journey starts with one step, with one move. But so long as you're doing it towards a something, and if other people don't get you, that's their problem. They're not walking a mile in your shoes. Mm-hmm. It's not your problem. It's their problem. So if you're happy with you being you and you doing you, so long as you're not directly trying to hurt somebody doing it, then you're good.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Good. So I would probably say the most spiritual thing, the most religious thing, I would say just as much as prayer, if not more, is to be kind to others, to love others. Because then you are loving yourself and you're allowing more love, more happiness, more good karma, more good things to happen to you as you share the positive and loving energy out to others. But there is a boundary. You don't give so much of yourself where you deplete yourself of nothing. And that's a big mistake that people have. They try so hard to fix everyone else's life that they deplete their life while trying to help out other people, leaving themselves behind the 8 ball or between a rock and a hard place. And that's not right, because you do have to take care of your own necessities first before you start helping out people in the way that you want.
Mm-hmm. And I've learned that one the hard way myself too. That's really good advice. Yeah.
And it's like when you're on the airplane, they tell you when the air cup drops, you have to put it on your first before you help your children or somebody else. Because if you're not breathing in good air or good energy, how can you help out others if you're not helping yourself? Yeah. So that's why I say, don't be afraid to love yourself. Don't be afraid to ask God for $1 million billion. When you start your own business, say, oh, I hate when people say this. My big pet peeve, I just need enough to pay my bills and just need enough for this and just screw that shit. I am in it to win it. I am in it to make a lot of money. I'm in it to have a comfortable lifestyle. Yes. I'm in it because I want a really good, comfortable lifestyle. And when I'm in a very good position, or when you're in a very good position, that means you could comfortably help out other people more in the way that you would love to. But if you're giving away all your fruits and vegetables and you're giving away all your seeds that you can't even refertilize, replant for yourself, then what good is it? Seriously, what good is it? Then you end up in the same fox trenches that they're in, that they're trying to get in, because you overly gave to yourself and you didn't take care of yourself. So whose fault is that? And then you're complaining to God how your life sucks. By what choices have you made?
So right. Thank you for that. That was a beautiful answer. I'm curious, since we should get wrapping up here soon, is there anything that I haven't asked that you feel needs to be said?
All of life is nothing more than a perception. Right. Everything in life is as big as it is and as crappy as it is. And all of life is as small as it is or as beautiful as it is. It all depends on the energy and perception you give it. It still is what it is. It still is what it is. People or situation only is what it is according to the energy that you give it. All of life is nothing more than a perception. And I'm going to give you 2 really good pieces of examples of what I really mean by perception. So if you look above your head, you're looking at the ceiling. Mm-hmm. In reality, it's a piece of wood. All right. It's a piece of wood. If you walk upstairs where you are right now, that ceiling, that piece of wood from upstairs now becomes the floor. The piece of wood never changed. Only your perception has changed. The wood, it is what it is. So then 15 minutes, is 15 minutes a long time? It all depends what side of the bathroom door you're on.
Isn't that the truth?
And then I tell people, is 8 hours a long time? If you're sleeping for 8 hours, it seems like a half hour. And if you're working for 8 hours, it could seem like 12 or 13 hours. It's still 8 hours. 15 minutes is still 15 minutes. And the piece of wood above your head, it's just a piece of wood, whether it be the ceiling or the floor or the wall.
Yeah.
It is what it is. They are what they are.
I love it.
You know? So you might not be able to change the person, but you can change yourself, and you don't have to accept what they're giving to you. And if you accept it, then it's your fault. It's not just theirs. It's your fault for living in that limited way of thinking.
That's a really important distinction, that you are the one that's accepting it. You have the choice to not accept. And that's something that we forget, I think. Yep. So thank you. So can I ask you, Artie, is there something that you could tell me about myself, as far as maybe something I need to know about my life right now?
You're wonderful. You're beautiful. Who doesn't love you?
All right. Before we wrap up, I want to ask you my final question, which is my favorite, because I just like to hear what people's answer is.
Wait, no, I'm gonna see if I can give you a little something. Though.
Oh, okay.
I meant it, but I was saying it playfully. The spiritual world are showing me cats around you, and when I see a cat, but I'm seeing a beautiful Siamese cat, and it's like a cat. They're very good on their own, but yet they could also be very cuddly and nurturing. And I feel like that's the way you are. You're the type of person who could be very powerful, but with the right person in your life or the right people in your life, you are a very cuddly, kind, nurturing person. But who's ever with you needs to understand how you operate. You can't change who you are to accommodate somebody else's needs. I could accommodate your needs, but I could accommodate your needs in the way that I could accommodate your needs. I can't always accommodate your needs in your world. I could accommodate your needs from my world in the way that I could do it. This will always keep you very well balanced, and the ability to love thyself and not feel guilty about it.
Awesome. Thank you, Artie. That's pretty cool. A lot of what I've been going through, I would say. So that's good.
Yeah, baby.
So my final question, Artie, what are you sure of in life?
What am I
sure of in life?
Myself.
There you go.
What am I sure of in life? Myself. I like who I am. I love who I am. And I love the way that I am with people. I feel like I have a great relationship with God. Don't ever fear. God should be your best friend. And the same thing with the angels. Always include everyone. When I told my daughter while she was growing up, she's 29 now, but when she was growing up, I said, always treat strangers like they are your best friends. And so when I see strangers, I always give my best to the stranger or whoever I'm with in the moment in my company. And, sometimes I'm not in the best of moods. I'm human. I have those poo-poo kind moments too.
We all do.
Yeah. But when I'm in those moods, I don't like to be around people because I don't want to share my negative energy with other people. I'd rather just deal with it myself, or if I need to speak with one or two friends here or there who I can go to. But on the most part, yeah, it's what I'm sure of. I'm sure that I'll always get through life. I'll always make the best of whatever God gives to me. I just give it up to the angels. And like I said, with the prayer that I said with the angels, thank you for intervening into my life. And it's about giving up control, knowing when problems or situations are hitting you really hard, rather than trying to fix them, sometimes everything just needs time for it to unravel itself. You don't always have to fix everything right away. Sometimes time or other circumstances or situations will unravel whatever's in front of you. And that's letting go of control with blind faith and trusting in your angels and the Holy Spirit.
Thank you so
And
much.
I'm pretty sure on my gifts too. At least people tell me that.
I love the answer. I think it's perfect. So
So
thank you so much for your time. I'm incredibly grateful. This has been wonderful.
thank you. And I just want everyone to know again, if they want a private reading or if they want to join my Angels and Answers Facebook Live show, my information's, artiehoffman.com. I have a lot of cool little mini videos that I've created. And you could reach me, artiehoffman@gmail. Or if you wanted to call me, 732-778-7173. Or my 1-900 number for $5 a minute.
And let's put all this in the show notes too. I'll make sure and have your number and email and website so everyone can find you.
Yeah,
And
please
your
do.
Facebook time. I should add that as well. I'll add that to the notes too.
Oh, yeah, with the FaceTime. Oh, and every single day, if you go to my Instagram, Artie Hoffman Instagram, or my Artie Hoffman Facebook, every morning I have inspirational messages that I start off the day for everybody.
Fantastic. I love it. I'm going to sign up. Thank you so much.
I like it a lot. I like you a lot. I like the show a lot. All of you are absolutely amazing, I tell you.
It was perfect. I loved learning about Artie's story. He has successfully owned his own window cleaning business for 40 years now. The work has served him well through his life, but it doesn't sound like it was ever a great passion, which I'm sure many can relate to. While it is the dream to work in your life's passion, it is not always the reality for so many. However, 33 years ago, Artie got a flyer in the mail and he decided to educate himself, checking out a weekend seminar. That one weekend changed his life, setting him on a new course, one centered around his new passion, and he has now spent the past 33 years doing psychic reading for clients and radio guests, working in his life's passion. It's important to note that Artie was not actively psychic before he went to the seminar. This was something he was able to grow through learning. We truly can learn how to do anything. Our brains are fascinating. It is a miracle how our brains work and how they are able to grow and expand or slow and retract depending on how we use them. Artie has lived his life with an open mind and as a consistent learner, allowing him to tap into parts of the brain that for most lie dormant. Anyone can start lighting up new parts of your brain with new learning. What have you always wanted to learn? What is that thing that has always piqued your curiosity? If you could learn how to do anything, what would you learn how to do? Find the opportunities that will help you open these doors in your life. And then say yes. Take the class. Go to the seminar. When you spend money on your learning, it comes back to you tenfold. It is happy money. Invite the growth and expansion in. As Artie shared, everything in life is limitless. The only thing limited is our thoughts. What Artie learned through his seminar and subsequent teachings has changed his life forever, seeing the world through a brand new lens. He learned how to be unconditional with his thoughts and his feelings, letting go of all judgments, with no judgments given. I want you to think about that for a moment. What your life would be like without judgments, both from within and from your loved ones. What would that look like? What would you do differently if you were not worried about being judged? We hold ourselves back from so much because of that fear. And really, The people who are the most judgmental of others, they are the ones who hold the greatest judgment of themselves. It is like a personal prison that you carry with you everywhere. What would it feel like if you were free from that judgmental prison? What if instead of being judgmental, you turned curious? Why are you judging that person this way? Or why are you speaking to yourself that way? Where does that judgment come from? What story have you been told, or what story have you been telling yourself? And is that story serving you? Or why does the person act this way or do this thing? What makes them want to do this, or what happened to them to get them to this place? Moving forward from this space, this place of perspective, will create peace within you and around you. So the next time you start mentally picking on yourself or someone else, think of Walt Whitman's quote: "Be curious, not judgmental." Artie shared with us some of his experiences growing up. He shared that his father was not the role model one would hope to have. His father taught him what love was not. But luckily for Artie, his mother and his brothers taught him what love was. And Artie was lucky, because not everyone has been given the gift of being taught what love is at a young age. When people are hurt in their youth, they often mimic what was done to them, continuing the abusive cycle. But the key to healing and finding success in life is breaking these negative cycles. The love and respect that you give is the love and respect that you deserve. You must give to others what you wish others would give to you. Now, if you find yourself in a difficult situation with loved ones, and you keep repeating the same things over and over, waiting for something to change, and it doesn't, this is because you cannot control people, and you cannot control outside circumstances. So you need to focus on what you can control, which is yourself. What do you need to change about yourself so that you can find peace within the situation or with this person? And this question, it can make all the difference. Put this question in your pocket and pull it out every time you are faced with a something or someone that you cannot control. What do I need to change about myself so that I can find peace with the situation? As Artie said, those that don't give you the love and respect you deserve, you exit out of your life. And I agree. We need to surround ourselves with people who help us be our best selves. People who see the good, the worth, and the beauty of our souls and help us see that in ourselves too. But what if the people who are not giving you the love and respect you deserve are your family members or your significant other? Someone you truly love and you want to keep in your life. I want to share with you something I learned when negative cycles formed in my household. Many years ago, when my children were young, my husband and I fell into a negative cycle of arguing and bitterness. I could see that it was happening, that it was a cycle, and I tried to communicate with him. But by that time, the negative feelings had grown so much that it was hard for us to hear each other. Me being aware was not going to be the catalyst for his own awareness and therefore his own change. I could communicate all I wanted, but I could not make him listen. I certainly could not make him change. At this point in my marriage, I admit I was very angry and feeling very lost. It was an incredibly difficult time, and I was not feeling friendly feelings toward my husband at all, and I mean at all. My best friend had turned into my tormentor, and I didn't know how to fix it. I started to reflect on our situation, and I knew that it was not sustainable. Something had to change, but if I could not change him and I couldn't change the situation, then that left the option of trying to change myself. So I made a plan. I decided I would kill him with kindness for 1 month, and I would see where that left us. I would reevaluate from there. I decided to give him an Advent experience, and I gave him a gift every day for the entire month of December. This was not an easy decision to make because, again, I admit I was very angry with him, and I didn't feel he deserved my kindness. I certainly didn't feel he deserved one thoughtful present, let alone 31. However, I stuck with my plan. I threw myself into finding little things that would please my husband, little things that would make him happy and light him up. I started thinking about him, his wants, his needs, and how I could provide them. We were struggling with money at this time, so it's not like these were extravagant gifts, but there was still a gift-wrapped present for him every day. So each and every day, there was this special attention given to him, focused, positive attention directly from me. Something that I realized had become missing since the birth of our second child. At first, he was a bit wary about what was happening and a little bit grouchy about it. He said, we don't have money for this kind of a thing. But he quickly began to warm up to it, getting a little more excited each day. And with each little gift unwrapped, there was more thawing of that ice that had formed in our relationship. Each day, he became a little warmer, a little more attentive, a little more excited to come home. Each day, I became a little warmer, a little more attentive, and a little more excited for him to come home. A new cycle was forming. We were connecting again. We began to have those meaningful conversations again on what we wanted in life, on how we saw our family, on how we could make each other happy, and we began to enjoy each other again. When I decided to spend a month killing him with kindness, I stopped the negative cycle we were swirling in. By stopping my end of the cycle and starting something new, I gave space for his own self-reflection and created a situation that made us both want to be better partners. I realized that our feelings had been so hurt by each side that we had been unable to hear what the other person was saying. Once we were able to shift those base feelings, our ability to listen and really hear grew exponentially. This month of kindness completely turned around our habits and our behaviors. It created a new positive cycle. I found myself in a similar experience with my teenager many, many years later, and I repeated the experiment when I found myself going in that similar downward spiral with my teenage son. And once again, it worked, and we were able to break the cycle. And I want to be clear, it is not about the presents that make the difference, though of course that is nice. It is about the positive attention. It is about being made to feel as if you are special and meaningful each day. That is what makes the difference, and anyone can do that. If you are finding yourself struggling in a relationship that matters to you, might I suggest you try killing them with kindness for a month and see what happens. If, however, your month experiment creates no new changes in the situation, then it is time to reevaluate and make some internal decisions to find that peace. Do not allow yourself to accept poor treatment from anyone. You are not responsible for anyone's happiness but your own. Now, Artie had great advice about what to do if you are feeling stuck in life. He suggests that you create your dream board or your vision board. This is an incredibly powerful tool for pulling what you want into your life. Take a large board or piece of construction paper, put a picture of your face in the middle, and start adding pictures and words of the kinds of things that you want to bring into your life. Your dream house, your dream job, your dream car, your dream vacation, the things you want to learn, the things you want to do, the things you want to create. Add words that create the vibe you want. And this practice, this will help you draw that energy into your life. With this practice, you are creating your ideal reality, creating your own definition of your personal success. This is how you truly live rather than just survive. You focus on the wants rather than the don't wants. You create the vision, and from there, you create your actions. Each journey starts with one step, and all it takes is one small baby step every day, and eventually, you will reach your goals. If you do not have a vision board, I suggest you create one for yourself immediately and refresh it every year. I taught my kids the power of the vision board a couple of years ago. My teenager put a number of things on that vision board that I told him, yeah, good luck with that, buddy. That's never happening. But lo and behold, somehow it did in the course of the year. Even the things that I had control over, these things happened. And the same with my vision board. I'm looking at it right now, and it is uncanny how much of this has come true or will be coming true in the very near future. The universe works in mysterious ways. Life really is limitless. As Artie shared, all of life is a perception. Life is as big and wonderful as it is, or as small and crappy as it is, according to the energy that you give it. It is your choice. As Albert Einstein said, the single most important decision any of us will ever make is whether or not to believe that the universe is friendly. For whatever you choose, you will be right, as you are the author of your story. Don't you owe it to yourself to make the choice that makes you feel good? I choose to believe we live in a friendly universe, one that responds to us as needed, and it is up to us to find the good, to find the gift in whatever comes our way. finally, I love how Artie finished our talk with what he is sure of. He is sure that he loves who he is. He loves his life, and he always gives his best to whoever he may be with at any given moment. And that is my wish for us all, that you love yourself, that you love your life, and that you share that love right back, lighting up each person you come in contact with. Until next time. Thank you for joining us on Fresh Blood. Please subscribe and follow us on all streaming services, including Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Player FM. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Fresh Blood Podcast. I would love your help in spreading these stories and important messages. Please give us a like and share with a friend. Your help is greatly appreciated. I hope you make today a most fulfilling day.